Get up, baby. Good to be in green and white.
You don't get no better than this, man. Hey, tune in. We about to put on the show.
Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by Pepsi. I'm Eric Allen alongside Anthony Becht, and we have a special guest at MetLife Stadium today on Veterans Day. That, of course, is Chad Pennington. You'll get a double dose of Pennington today because after you watch Pregame Central, you can go tune in on CBS locally. Jets flight plan, 11:30 a.m. We have you covered all over the place this morning. The Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Week 10 at MetLife Stadium. First off, fellas, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention today is Veterans Day. It is Salute to Service Week. Yes. We honor all the military who currently serve and all their families who make daily sacrifices.
Absolutely. Yes, it was great. I got a chance to meet a couple of guys out of the armed forces, in particular the Army. Great chance to talk with them. Also, the 100th anniversary of World War I, celebrating that. So blessed to be in a country that has such a great armed forces.
Yeah, and we're going to celebrate today with a football game here, fellas. The big storyline for the New York Jets is Sam Darnold is hobbled with a foot strain. Davis Webb was promoted to the active roster on Saturday. Josh McCown will get the rock for the first time in 2018. Let's start with the quarterback. Chad, what can Josh McCown provide this offense?
Well, you know what, Eric? It may be a blessing in disguise for Sam to be able to take a step back, kind of reevaluate himself, see where he is as a rookie, watch a veteran lead this offense, and just work the game management of the game. So I'm excited to see Josh come out here and work, and I know he's excited as well. It's a great opportunity. Good opportunity for the Jets to really just get back into rhythm and really just start to move the chains, move the football up and down the field against a tough Buffalo defense. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, Anthony.
Now, Josh has played a lot of ball, there's no question. But it's kind of similar to the fact that, you know, when you made your first start about 5 games in, what were some of the key things? You didn't take any reps during the season. Josh obviously hasn't taken any reps. He could have a little rust on his shoulders. What are the key important things coming into the game that you really wanted to make sure that you were dialed in on?
Well, first of all, I love what Josh said when they asked him about the rust, and he said, yes, it could be used as an excuse, but it's not. And I think that's his first mindset, is that he's a professional. He knows how this goes. And so I think for him, it's about getting into the flow. It's about just calling the game, really being in tune with Jeremy Bates, getting in the flow of the offense, get the ball to his playmakers, get the rhythm going in and out of the huddle, get some positive things going with first downs, and then let the game happen, because he is facing a tough Buffalo Bills defense.
Absolutely.
Anthony, guy's 39 years old, and I'm sure he started this season wondering if he would have an opportunity like this again. I'm sure there is a lot of juice out there for him this morning.
Well, you know, I think it's always good. I think as a player, you always want to play in a game. I think he's embraced his role here as a quarterback and a teacher. You know, it's the best thing for Sam Darnold was to help him develop and grow, was to have him on this roster and this team this year. I think it's got to be fun for him and exciting. I mean, listen, he said it. He feels terrible that Sam's not out there, but this is an opportunity for him to get on the field, help this team, and like Chad was saying, get a bounce back. You know, get a little something different in the huddle, a different vibe. You know, this offensive line last week kind of got, worked a little bit with the Dolphins on defense. Yeah. Just a resurgence around the guys, get them juices going, and if they can put some drives together, get some points today, get back where they need to be. Going into the bye week, it could be important for them.
And you just mentioned it. Do you think this is a bounce-back week for this offensive line?
Yeah, I do. I think, as you go on to the season, you can't play perfect every single week. You're always going to have those ups and downs. You just don't want to have it happen to every guy throughout the same game. The pass rush is intense. We had some issues snapping the ball, some ups and downs there. And, that kind of rattled a little bit Sam Darnold in the pocket, got a little antsy with the football, and it caused some turnovers. And those things happen. I think how you counter that, Chad, is get a running game going. Let these guys get off the ball and not pass protect.
Well, great point. What about the balance?
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that with a 39-year-old veteran quarterback, he can settle some of those nerves for the center when he's having some issues with snaps when the offense is struggling a little bit. So what I look for is the running game, and like EA and I've talked about the last 2 weeks, I want to see the quick screen game.
Okay.
I want to see the ball come out of his hand, get the ball to these playmakers out on the perimeter with the quick screens. Josh actually talked about this. We talked about this about 3 weeks ago. They have a great game plan with quick screens, and they do a really good job of it. I would really love to see about 8 to 12 times a day of a quick screen game.
All right, how about the defense, though? They'll be facing Matt Barkley. Now, in my prep this week, fellas, I was thinking maybe Josh Allen comes back. Maybe it's Derek Anderson who clears concussion protocol. Maybe we see Nathan Peterman. But no, it's Matt Barkley. On the surface, this is a great opportunity for the Jets defense to dominate.
It is. Matt is in a tough position to come off the street, per se, and now start. And I've been in Brian Daboll's offense, and it's an offense that's complex, wants to push the ball down the field, wants to get the ball to McCoy on the edge, and so it's a tough position for him. So I would really love to see this Jets defense be opportunistic today and create some turnovers.
I think you're right. You know, it's been sacks one week, turnovers another. They've been really outstanding. It's been fun turning the tape on and watching them play, and it's really been starting at the defensive line position. You know, Leonard Williams and company have been doing a really good job attacking the quarterback, making him uncomfortable, and puts a lot of pressure on you as an offense being one-sided. If you look at it today, and he was talking about Brian Daboll's offense, I got to think they're going to dumb it down a little bit, simplify it, try to make it easy for him, get him some quick passing game. I think we can be a little more aggressive in those opportunities, and like you said, those turnovers may just fall in our laps today.
All right, we're off and running. We got a double dose of Chad Pennington because he's going to come on after we hear Todd Bowles, who sat down with our Otis Livingston this week in our Play MGM studios. He discussed not only the Buffalo Bills, but the privilege of playing here on Salute to Service weekend. Today is Veterans Day at MetLife Stadium. Let's go to that right now.
All right, this is the first time we're going to talk about Buffalo this season, your first matchup with your AFC East foe. What type of problems do they present as far as the offensive side of the football?
Well, they got Shady McCoy and they got Chris Ivory. Obviously, they have some huge receivers right now with Pryor and Benjamin out there along with Zay Jones, so they got a lot of size. Regardless of who the quarterback is, the offensive line is big, and they have a scheme where they try to attack you a bunch of different ways, so we just got to be disciplined.
All right, finally this weekend, we recognize all our armed forces and those who serve this country through our Salute to Service. How nice is that to salute the guys that have put their lives on the line for us?
I mean, I think it's outstanding. Those are the real heroes of what we do and what they allow us to do by keeping our country safe and going out there putting their lives on the line. Understanding that, you know, it makes you real humble to play this game.
All right, now you guys return home. What are you expecting out of the crowd?
We got to have good plays to get them behind us. I think they'll be ready to go, but we got to make them louder by doing good things on the field.
You are watching Pregame Central presented by Pepsi. Eric Allen with Anthony Becht and Chad Pennington. Before we just heard from Todd Bowles, Chad just looked at me, fellas, and said, my God, it's cold out here. How would this impact you as a player? Because you played in these conditions at the old Meadowlands. Did you wear gloves? And the wind is starting to pick up here.
It's dry, it's windy, it's cold. So I would not be surprised if Josh McCown did come out, at least with a glove on his left hand, to help with a little bit of grip in the pocket. I think with a windy day like this, you got to take a little bit of the air out of the ball as well. You can't float that ball because the wind is going to move it around a little bit.
All I can remember is all the potions we used to have, all the creams and the icy hots and the different powders we had to keep warm. We used to use some of this whale blubber stuff that we rubbed on our arms. I mean, that's important, but you know, once you get into the game and you get that sweat going, you're ready to go. So I was always cognizant of coming out and making sure I get a really good warm up, and then I kind of layer a lot of my internal body and I let the arms hang out. That's how we did it. Now, I wouldn't do that now, but that was just, you know, these guys will be ready to go for this weather.
Chad, what could Sam Darnold learn from just taking a step back and not only watching today, but watching the way Josh McCown orchestrated practice throughout the week?
Sure. I think two things. Number one is anticipation and timing, and we've talked about this. Being able to trust his eyes, get the ball out of his hand, anticipate, and when it's not there, when he's out of the rhythm, when the play is out of rhythm, don't force it, find that check down, live to fight another day.
And I think one of the things he brings to the table, too, is his legs. Josh McCown is not a guy that's going to hang in the pocket way too long. If there's an opportunity to run the football, get that extra first down, he'll do it. Sam's done a really nice job of staying in the pocket, going through his progressions. We haven't seen him run as much, but this may be an opportunity where it's on tape. He sees how it works and operates, and maybe that could be an advantage for the Jets today as well.
You know, I asked McCown during the week about Quincy Enunwa. He hasn't played a game with Enunwa yet. Enunwa was out with the neck injury last year. This is the first time he'll be out there on the field with him. What kind of a difference maker can 81 be for this team?
I love Quincy Enunwa because he presents a lot of matchup problems for the defense. With his size, sometimes the defense has to decide, okay, do we treat him like a second tight end? Do we treat him like a receiver and we've got to go nickel? And the Jets have done a good job of getting the ball to him in space. We've seen what a great screen runner he is. Yeah. He's also very tough, making catches across the middle in traffic. So I would love to see the Jets get him really involved today.
Anthony, one of your key matchups today, we talked about the O-line a little bit, but what about the stress on the tackles against a couple guys who continue to get after it for the Buffalo Bills in terms of their edge rushers? Lorenzo Alexander, he's 35, he's playing like he's 21, and then of course on the other side is a speed demon of Jerry Hughes.
Yeah, you know, Larry Hughes has done a great job for them as well. Both of them have 4.5 sacks. You know, Kyle Williams in the middle. You know, when you have a game like you did against the Dolphins, you didn't play as well. You evaluate yourself as a player. You watch what you did wrong, what you did good, and you really have a chip on your shoulder. You want to come back and play better. You feel like you owe it to your brother next to you. And I think the fact that they all had their ups and downs in the game, they all want to prove something collectively. So they're going to have to come out. You know, to me, the easiest way to get your confidence up as an offensive lineman, and me being a guy that loved to block, is come off the football in the run game and let yourself impose your will against somebody. Go punch somebody in the mouth. My technique sometimes on the first run wasn't great, but I just want to come off and hit somebody and just get that, you know, that adrenaline going a little bit. And, you know, defenses will feel that. And they'll understand, oh, this is going to be a game. So you're either going to do it for 4 quarters or you're going to let them do it to you for that game as well. So I think if they come out and do that, set the tone early, it could be good.
Let me tell you something. Right now, I want to hit somebody. I'm so damn cold. Chad, we saw Eli McGuire get back in the lineup last week. He averaged 4.3 yards per carry. He's also adept out of the backfield catching the football. Do you think the Jets can strike that balance today with Corral and Eli McGuire and maybe even a guy like Trenton Cannon?
I do. I like McGuire and Crowell. I like their physical running ability. They run physically. They run with their will, and you love that, especially in the run game. Those 3- and 4-yard gains are so important on a day like today, so I'd love to see a mix there. And then when you bring in Cannon, now you bring in the speed. Yeah. Now you bring a guy that can get to the edge and get to the perimeter. So that 3-headed monster needs to work today for sure.
Anthony, other side of the ball, the Bills have so many problems offensively. Yeah. They're on pace for a franchise low in terms of points. We talked about all the quarterbacks they've been using. They're not getting a lot of production on the outside at receiver. But up front, that offensive line, they've had a lot of difficulty blocking. And on the surface, this could be a big game for the big cat, Leonard Williams.
You're right. I think the offensive line for the Bills is giving up the second most sacks in the NFL. That's a problem for them, especially when you got a quarterback that hasn't played a game since 2016. You know, Matt Barkley, like you said, he's in a tough situation. He's thrown 8 touchdowns to 18 interceptions, but yet hasn't been on the field at all, and is coming into an offense that's very difficult to run. The one guy on offense you got to be aware of, LaShawn McCoy. You know, he's so dangerous in space, screen game, getting to the edge, making people miss. You've got to gang tackle him. And like I said, I think you can be a little more aggressive on defense, get some more guys up to the line of scrimmage, and really force the quarterback to make plays for you, being that he hasn't been able to do that much.
Jay, what do you think of Todd Bowles and Casey Rogers? What kind of plan they'll come up with against the Bills offense that has just been scuffling throughout the entire season? They really don't have anything they can hang their hat on, but like Anthony said, you have to always account for Shady McCoy.
Yeah, I think he's going to mix up his looks. I definitely think they like man coverage. They like their matchups on the perimeter. And if they're going to double anybody, or if they're going to be aware of anybody, like Anthony said, it's going to be about LaShawn McCoy, making sure that he doesn't get free on the perimeter.
And you think that's a big matchup for the Jets linebackers, in particular Darren Lee, Avery Williamson?
Well, you know, when it gets cold, it's tough to tackle sometimes. You know, you got to be on the spot, and he's an elusive guy that kind of likes to dangle that ball out a little bit. You got to wrap him up and secure him. And the linebackers have been playing well. Avery Williamson has been lights out the last couple weeks. Darren Lee's got that sideline to sideline speed, so you just got to break down and just make sure you're on the spot with it. And if you do, that really takes away the only weapon they have on offense.
Does it change for you, do you think, as a head coach, as a defensive coordinator, that Matt Barkley is the guy who's actually leading the offense today?
I don't think so. I think when we've watched Todd Bowles over the years call defenses and being part of the defense, they do what they do. And they're going to pressure when they feel like they need to pressure. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to mix up their zones. The one thing that the Jets have going from their linebackers can really run. They can run in space. They can hang with these guys. And so I think the Jets are coming out. They're going to run their game plan and try to get a win.
All right, I told you it's a double dose of Pennington today because after we're done here, Pregame Central, tune in to CBS. Jets Flight Plan starts at 11:30. Chad's going to break down all of Sam Darnold's latest film. It's a tremendous segment. We're enjoying it. I hope you guys are at home. Chad, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a special treat for us. But speaking of some things out there that are special today, let's go out to Olivia Landis, who has our Pepsi fan of the game.
Olivia Landis here with the Pepsi fan of the games, Mike and Brittany. And we actually just witnessed a proposal. Mike, can you walk me through what happened today during this shoot and tell me a little bit about this proposal to Brittany?
Yeah, well, 3 years ago on this day, Veterans Day, the Jets were playing the Bills, and I came to a tailgate with a buddy of mine, and that's when I met Brittany right here at L6. So I just figured it was a great opportunity, and we took advantage of it. Thanks to the Jets for coming out and being and really, making us feel a part of the team and stuff with this, and just an excellent experience all around.
So 3 years ago to this day, because of the Jets game, you guys were able to meet. Can you walk me through some of your tailgating traditions? Because that's where you said you guys met, was at a tailgate.
Yep. My dad is one of the cooks, so my dad is here. Where is he? There he is. And we just cook and we hang out, and it's friends and family, and it's a great time. And I am so excited right now that I'm gonna cry again.
We usually do like every hour or so, somebody makes a toast, and we just toast to one thing or another. And so I took advantage and gave the toast to Brittany this year.
Congratulations to our Pepsi fans of the games, Mike and Brittany. Congratulations on your proposal. Back to you, Ye.
You are watching Pregame Central presented by Pepsi. That was Olivia Landis with our Pepsi fan of the game, Eric Allen and Anthony Becht, out here on a cold November morning at MetLife Stadium. The Jets should feel good about the return of a monstrous cornerback on the outside. That's Trumaine Johnson. He's missed a few weeks, but he's expected to return to the lineup today.
Yeah, can't wait to see him on the field today. It gives you that dimension where you can say, okay, he's going to lock down their best receiver, and then you can do some other things. It opens up some more opportunities for some other guys to be playmakers on defense as well. Kelvin Benjamin's really their only guy. Yeah. He's not the fastest receiver, so I expect him to be up in tight, really be able to go up there and compete. Trumaine Johnson's a stronger, bigger corner that can take on those big receivers. I think it's a great matchup that really is an advantage for the Jets.
Yeah, when you look at the Bills, one thing that Todd Bowles stated this week was they got size on the outside. Kelvin Benjamin, a big guy. Yeah. Terrell Pryor, who did some good things for the Jets here early this season, is actually a Bill now. And then Zay Jones is their number 3.
Yeah, Zay Jones has been a bit of a factor the last couple of weeks. I'll be quite honest with you. I see a lot of quick passing game today for the Bills. I can't imagine Matt Barkley's going to go out there and take a bunch of shots. And if he does, it's going to be an ideal situation where it's either his receiver or nobody. So expect a lot of bad balls to be thrown potentially out of bounds today. 3 and outs are going to be key. Listen, McCoy is the guy that you have to stop today. If you can stop him, and we've been very good against the rush, really the entire season. Yeah. It's going to be tough for the Bills to score in this football game. And I think Matt Barkley, if he goes out there and he feels like he has to make or do more plays, then I think that's where turnovers can come up.
What do you think about the Jets' pass game? We talked about Enunwa before. We talked about McCown distributing the football to multiple weapons. It appears, and we're going to get Inactives later, it appears that Robbie Anderson likely will be down today.
Well, that was a great combination last year, right? Getting down the field. Robbie had some huge numbers, but, you talked about Quincy being the first time they got to play together. I think that's going to be huge. Josh would love a receiver that he can get the ball too quick And Quincy's done a nice job yards after the catch as well. He's been very aggressive as a runner with the football in his hands. You know, the one thing I know with Josh is he's a groove passer. Getting the ball out of his hands quickly, a couple slants. You know, you got Curse there as well. You know, Roberts, the tight end Herndon. These guys can make those quick catches for you and make those 5, 6, 7-yard gains. And Josh likes that. He likes to be a guy that gets in the zone a little bit early in that football game. And again, the key with his legs, I expect him to take 3 to 5 key runs today, scrambles that can really help this team and move the chains and create more plays.
Anthony, tough break for the Jets, and specifically Neil Sterling. He had a concussion. He's had multiple head injuries, and the team had to place him on injury reserve. He's an athletic guy who did some good things for the Jets in camp, had some few catches here early in the season, so a tough break for him.
Are you cold, by the way?
I'm a little cold.
Well, listen, you know what? I think it's a smart move. You know, I think anytime you're dealing with concussions, you know, he's a key component to this team. He had an excellent training camp, and they really like his skill set as a wide receiver, tight end kind of guy. So, you know, you put him on the shelf and let him get better, and hopefully he can bounce back next season. I think the emergence of Herndon has helped that as well. You feel more comfortable with the tight end crew, Leggett, and of course Tomlinson. That's a nice core of guys. You can get some plays and get some things done. So I think it's the right move, and I think it allows Chris Herndon now to, you know, take full effect and then continue to improve on the good play that he's had so far.
You only get 16 regular season games. The Jets are in a 3-game slide right now, 3-6, 3 games under 500 for the first time. They got a bye week next week.
Yeah.
How important is it just inside that locker room to just get a W and have that feeling again?
I think the biggest experiences for me when you have bye weeks the next week is you lay it on the line for this game. You know, you got 2 weeks to heal and figure it all out. Afterwards, you go out there and you play your best brand of football. You make sure you give that effort, maximum effort across the board. These guys are going to be off for Thanksgiving weekend, which is going to be great. They got to be excited about that, but you want to make sure you go out on a good note. This is a banged-up team. This is a team that's going with a quarterback off the street that hasn't done anything. You should feel good about that. You need to take advantage of that as a defense. And offensively, this is a great opportunity now to get a veteran quarterback that understands the system, knows how to get this team, kind of push those buttons and be the leader that you want, and hopefully produces for them, especially early in the football game. Fast starts, right? The biggest thing we haven't had right now is a fast start.
That's right.
Last couple games. So if we can get on the scoreboard early, it could be a beneficial, because I don't see Buffalo scoring a lot of points.
Long term, do you see a lot of similarities in these organizations in terms of they both have solid defenses, they both drafted their respective quarterbacks of the future they're hoping for,
right.
And when you look at the salary cap space, they're poised to make a lot of moves in the spring.
I do see similarities. I really like Sam over Josh. I think Josh Allen's going to be a good quarterback as well, but he's very raw, and I think they're going to have to go through some ups and downs with him. I think from a skill position standpoint, we have an advantage there right now, and I think we're going to continue to build that as a team. Mike McCagnon gets in the offseason and see how free agency goes with those numbers that you're talking about in salary cap position-wise. I think offensive line, too, is growing and improving. Even though they come off a bad game, you can't have a perfect game every week. I expect them to bounce back this week as well. So you're right, 2 teams, 2 defensive-minded coaches that obviously shows on the field. And I'm looking forward to seeing both defenses, but I think today a heavy advantage Jets-wise offensively.
Do you like the way that Todd Bowles handled it during the week? Said, yes, Josh McCown is starting this week. By the way, the reason why Sam Darnold's out is he is injured. A lot of people are saying, well, maybe they just want to rest him. No. Todd was clear about this.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is our quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, regardless of if Josh came out here and threw 7 touchdowns, it's not going to matter. I mean, Sam's handled the situation well. He's done a nice job being able to go out there and carry this football team, and he's been very mature about the process. And you know, the staff has liked what he's done. He's been very good as far as, you know, picking up the offense, and you want to continue to grow with him as this season goes on. So he'll be back, and when he's healthy, I'm expecting him to be back after the bye.
All right, Scott Butera is the president of MGM. Gaming, I'm getting the title wrong here. I'm sorry, Scott. President of Interacting Gaming at MGM. Can you tell us about this exciting partnership between the Jets and MGM?
Absolutely. Well, one, it's great to be here with you, Eric and Anthony. Been a fan of yours for many years. Used to watch you play, so it's a real honor to be here and very special. But this is a historic day for MGM and the New York Jets, obviously being announced the official gaming partner of the New York Jets. Brings with it a lot of excitement. We think the world of the Jets organization. We think they're a great fit for what we want to be at MGM. Just a great brand, great management team, a lot of history, and really at the front end of where things are going in gaming and in sports. And we want to be the biggest in sports, and there's no better partner to start with than the New York Jets.
What should Jets fans know about this partnership specifically? How can they get involved in some of these exciting things going on?
Yeah, it really is, and I'm glad we call it partnership. It really is a true partnership where MGM is going to provide a lot of its resources to Jets fans, their season ticket holders. Obviously, we have 28, outstanding resorts throughout the country. We have over 60,000 employees who are all going to be Jets fans. But importantly, one of the things that we're doing right away is we're starting a new app that if you download the Jets app today, you'll see a game called I Called It, which is a predictive gaming app where you can actually bet on events, or make predictions on events as they take place throughout the game. Like, for example, will the Jets score a touchdown on the drive? Will it be a field goal or a touchdown? You can make that selection, and then you develop points. You can also do it during the week, and whoever gets the most points wins prizes, and I think the top 10 every week actually get their name on the big board. So
sign me up.
It's really exciting.
I'm going to download that app today.
Come on, he's already playing, I bet you. But so I called it, huh? And you literally download this off the Jets app.
Off the Jets app.
And you can start playing today, this afternoon?
You can start playing this afternoon. It's sponsored by MGM. You'll see the tie-in to our company, and we're really excited about it. It'll be a lot of fun for people, and everyone who thinks they can be the next GM or coach, well, now we're going to find out.
And literally, can you go play-by-play? Or is it more like drive?
It's more by drive, and you can make certain predictions before the game actually starts throughout the week, and then it's sort of drive by drive. Will the Jets score? Will it be a touchdown? Will it be a field goal? Pre-game, it'd be who will win the coin chip flip, everything like that, to who'll score first. It's really interesting, and it's going to get better as it goes along. But it's a great place to start, and we're excited about it.
How has the landscape changed with the new laws, obviously, and what's going on with the National Football League?
It's changed dramatically in our world. We're doing a lot in this space. Our goal is to be the biggest, really, in all of interactive, which would be sports betting, online casino games, social games, play for fun games like this. As I mentioned, we tie into a great resort portfolio as well. We really are a resort company first, so this is a great complement to it. But I think you're going to see tremendous growth in this space. I think it's going to be great for teams. I think it's going to be great for sponsors. I think it's going to be great for fans. I think fans want to be part of the action. Fans are competitive just like players are, and they want to go up against it and see how they do every week, and this is a great chance for them. And look, this has been a part of our culture forever. Now we're making it legit, and we're doing it the right way. And I think what you will see change is a lot of sports betting is now going to be in line. So it's not pre-match and you make a bet and see what happens. Now it's all going to be watching a game, doing things as the game takes place. You can do it right here in New Jersey. We have a great property, the Borgata. We use the Play MGM brand on our app, and if you're able to download that app, then you can see how it works. But it's pretty fun.
And I know for one, I'm pumped up about it because we are going to be working out of now the Play MGM studios.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're excited about that also, so glad to have you.
Scott, president of Interactive Gaming at MGM, discussing this new partnership between the Jets and MGM. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Eric.
Listen, the Inactives just came out. Robbie Anderson, Sam Darnold, inactive for the first time in his professional career. Deontay Burnett, Rashard Robinson, Derek Jones, Spencer Long, so that means Jonathan Harrison will start at center, and for Alonzo Fatukasi. So no surprises there, but the two big names, of course, Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold down for the first time in his career, which you might have imagined would have been the case when Davis Webb was promoted from the practice squad.
Yeah, I think Spencer Long's a big one too. I mean, obviously Jonathan Harrison's got experience at the position, which is good. It's a great opportunity for him. And again, maybe a little more juice at the offensive line to bring along with Josh McCown today. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this offense has bounced back. They're going to have a big challenge today, but Josh is in a big opportunity to help this team kind of get one over the hump before the bye.
All right, great show. Chad Pennington was here. Scott Butera, the president of Interacting Gaming at MGM. Tremendous new partnership between the green and white, and of course, MGM. Anthony Becht in the saddle here at a cold MetLife Stadium for further pregame coverage. Go over to CBS right now. Jets flight plan is airing. We will be here after the game. Let's see if the Jets can break that 3-game losing streak and get a victory before the bye. For AB, I'm Eric Allen. We're going to get some hot chocolate.